This is a video on how to use the paper piercing set from Stampin' Up! And how to pierce holes so that you can add either stitching, like I did with this card. So right here you can see the stitching, and you can't see it here because I stitched it on the white card and then added it to my craft paper card. So I know this is one of the older sets, and they have new sets. And then this is the piercing tool that is very sharp. So you also have a foam piece that I like to put on before I pierce. And all I'm going to do is I am going to add a button from, it's called the Bitty buttons, and I am going to add, it's a clear heart, and it's going to be using the brown thread that I have, just basic thread. You want to make sure that your needle has a bigger hole, especially if you're using embroidery floss or a thicker crochet yarn. I used a crochet yarn with this, and you want to definitely make sure that your yarn will go through the hole, and if you're using a button, for my case, in this case, you want to make sure that the needle goes all the way through the button. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with making sure that you pick the right gauge of hole, and you're going to place your button to make sure that your holes are in the right place, and place your card where you want your button, just so that you don't have them, you don't pierce the holes in the wrong place. And then you will pierce your holes, and once you know, you can just move your button out of the way. And then you just stitch it on like you would. Now this is a little thicker because I've got the white and then the green overlay on top of the brown card. So you definitely want to make sure that your hole is big enough, and if you need to, you can take your piercing tool, because if you look at it closely, it has a very sharp point, but then it's thicker. So the thicker your piercing tool, of course, you just turn it like that, and of course then your hole gets bigger. So then you just sew on your button. And one thing that you can do to cover, of course I could have sewn this on, but I decided to do this accent after I'd already finished the card, basically. And you're going to pull it through, and oops, make sure that your button or your thread is knotted so that when you stitch on your button, the thread doesn't keep going through the paper, because it's not going to be like fabric. It's going to be, however big your holes are, it's going to come right through. But what I was going to say is, if you want to cover up your stitching, you can just use a piece of washi tape, or you could do another lining on inside of your card. Sorry, it's dark. This is my first video, so I'm experimenting with my tripod setup. I think that adds a lot to my card, definitely. And then, once I tighten my thread, get it the way I want it, then I'm going to go back here and make my knot. And one more time. And there we go. I'm going to add a little piece of washi tape and call it good. But I think that adds quite a bit to my card. Thank you for watching. Make sure and share with your friends, and I will see you soon. Bye.